Hello everyone, welcome to our board. My name is Dinkar and I welcome you all in this session. I hope everybody is doing great, feeling healthy and fine. So, as you all know that yesterday, day before yesterday, our finance minister has tabled the economic survey in the parliament. Okay, the parliament in which we have an economic survey that has been tabled, and we have a various important things related to the survey that we are going to discuss today. What all things have been discussed, what all things have been discussed in the economic survey. So there are 10 points that are there, in which this is a very important economic survey, in which 10 points we are going to highlight regarding the economic survey, which is very important for the exam point of view. So economic survey and the budget are the two most important topic of the government, and every year they comes on the 31st of January and 1st of our February. Right. So 31st of January, the economic survey is tabled, and the 1st of February, the budget is presented in our parliament. So budget session will be coming after 1 or 2 days. We'll be discussing the budget session also, but today we'll be discussing regarding the economic survey. So before starting of the session, may I know how many people are there in the session? May I know how many people are there in the session? They can just register their presence by liking the session and by letting me know in the chat box. They can just let me know in the chat box that they are here in the session. May I know? Please just let me know in the chat box itself so that I may know you are here, and then we can just simply start off with our say hello. Yeah. Hello, Deepika. Welcome to the session. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. I hope everybody is doing great, feeling healthy and fine, right? Yeah, it is for 22-23. It is always for a previous year. How the economy has done in the previous year, economic survey is about that. Okay? How the economy has done in the previous year, economic survey is about that. Right? So please put that concept in your mind. Okay? So, the Economic Survey 2022-2023 has been tabled in the Parliament on 31st of January. So, this is a annual document that is being released by the Ministry of Finance. Okay? It is always presented, usually presented 1 day before the budget. 1 day before the budget, it is usually presented. And this document is being prepared by the economic division of the Department of Economic Affairs. Okay. They prepare that and they take the guidance from the Chief Economic Advisor. Okay. CEA, Chief Economic Advisor, give the guidance while preparation of the economic survey, and this is prepared by the economic division of the Department of Economic Affairs. Okay, so what this economic survey tells about how the Indian economy has done in the previous 12 months, and what is the economic outlook of the current fiscal year. Okay, what is the current economic outlook of the current fiscal year? Okay, so it tells about the projections, also it tells about what is happening in the previous year, what has happened in the previous year, how Indian economy has done, and how Indian economy is going to do in the future. So it is like a perspective document also, and it is like your check-in document also, what has happened in the last 12 months. Okay, so, welcome again into the session, and let's start with our 10 most important aspects of the economic survey. Whenever we talk of economic survey, the first of all is the GDP growth. How it is going to how the GDP growth will be happening, whether it is going negative, positive, or standstill, or whatever it is. So, as per the economic survey, our GDP will remain robust in the financial year 24, that is 2023-2024. Okay, that is a forecast, and it will be ranging from 6 to 6.8%. That is going to be the highest in the all the countries. Okay, that will be remaining highest in all the countries, right? So here, if you can see, whenever we talk about the Indian economy, we talk about the fiscal deficit, we talk about the inflation, we talk about the foreign exchange reserve and services. Okay, so fiscal deficit, we are trying to control it, and we have mostly controlled it as per the economic survey and various other FRBM act. But since because of the COVID-19, still there is a huge deficit that is there. So for 2022-2023, the fiscal deficit target is 6.4% of the GDP. And you know that last year inflation was very much high. Okay, so if you can see here, CPI inflation earlier it was 4.8, then it moves to 6.2, then it moves to 5.5, then 6.8. So it is above the threshold because we wanted to keep inflation between 2 to 6%. So in order to tame that inflation, we have increased the repo rates हम लोगों ने बढ़ाए थे जिससे कि इन्फ्लेशन को 6% के अंदर किया जा सके. Okay, so that is why in the last year 225 basis point से हम लोगों ने repo rates बढ़ाए, from 225 basis point. Okay, then regarding the foreign exchange reserve, we can see there is a continuous increase that is happening from 2019 20, then 21 22, but right now it is 563 billion US dollar, but it is expected to grow a further. Okay, so we have a good foreign exchange reserve with our country. Okay, and GDP forecast of the constant prices for 2022-2023 was 7%, and for 2023 and 24 it is going to 6 to 6.8%. So they have given the forecast 6 to 6.8% is going to be the next fiscal. Okay, then the service sector has grown by 9.1%. It is a very huge growth, very good growth that has happened in the service sector. And you know that Indian economy is mostly driven by the service sector, and this is getting a huge amount of growth. Then agriculture and allied sectors are getting the growth of 3.5%, and industrial growth is around 4.1%. Okay, so this is just a bigger picture of the economic sector. Now we are moving towards the service sector. We already discussed that this financial year 23 it is going to be increased by 9.1%. For financial year 2022 it was 8.4%. So there is a increase in the service growth of our country. Okay, because service sector is the strength of our economy. Okay, so what are the sources is like that PMI, Purchasing Manager Index service has witnessed a stronger expansion since July 22. There is a good amount of credit growth also that has happened, about 16%. Then 75 DBUs, digital bank units, have been created. Everybody knows regarding this digital bank units, right? And there are other areas where the service has expanded in fashion, grocery, general merchandise. So they have totally captured the Indian e-commerce market. E-commerce market is right now driven by the service sector itself, and this is going to be capturing by 2027 they are going to capture around two-thirds of the Indian e-commerce market. Fashion, grocery and general merchandise, they are going to capture two-thirds of the e-commerce by 2027. Okay, then comes the digital infrastructure. So first of all, we are moving towards the UPI payments. We know unified payment interface, so that there is a very good amount of increase that has happened in the UPI. So UPI based transaction have increased by 121%, not 100, it is 121%. And the volume of the trade in terms of the transaction that is happening is 115% has been increased. Okay, between the 2019-22 and 22-23. Then telephone and radio, so there around 117.8 crore telephone subscriber are there in our country as per September. Right now the figure might have been increased more. Okay, then around 98% of the telephones are now connected wirelessly. That means that is mobile based telecom that is going on in our country. Then DPG, digital public goods. That means there are various products that has been released by the government for the people to utilize in a digital way. How they can utilize digital way. So we know that Aadhaar has been launched in 2009. Then slowly Gem Trinity model, then eNAM, then Gem portal, eNAM, Umang portal, My Scheme. Everything has connected like these. All the government schemes are being connected. So how the people are utilizing these digital public goods? Okay, these are the goods which are for the public and these are digital in nature. So how this has enabled the citizen, how the citizen are accessing these service, that is also have been increases in a faster tone. Okay, if we go by the report of account aggregator which sees like how many accounts are there and what all accounts are there. So consent based digital sharing framework, that means around 110 crore bank account, live bank accounts, 110 crore bank accounts are there. Okay, so this is regarding your digital infrastructure. Now we are coming into the physical infrastructure. Physical infrastructure like your railways, roads, and various other things, digital infrastructure, whatever you just put it in the infrastructure. So we have three things going on. One is national infrastructure pipeline, second is national monetization pipeline, then third one is Gati Shakti program project that is going on. Okay, so national infrastructure pipeline has launched around 85,151 projects. Around 141.4 lakh crores of the projects are being under the different stages of implementation, okay, for the infrastructure need. And right now, if we are going by this date, around 1009 projects have been completed. That is the worth of 5.5 lakh crore rupees. Okay, then national infrastructure pipeline and the project monitoring groups, they are being all linked together. They are all being linked together by properly fast track approval of the clearance of the projects, and any type of regulatory clearance anybody is required, they are giving it. Then national monetization pipeline, that means monetization means from where money, we need money also for running various projects, so from where the money will be coming. Okay, so government is planning like rupees 9 lakh crore is the investment potential, and every year government gives the target of national monetization. Okay, right now around zero point 0.9 lakh crore monetization target have been achieved. They have kept the target of zero point 0.8 lakh crore, but they have achieved 0.9 lakh crore. Okay, and for the financial year 23, the target is rupees 1.6 lakh crore. Okay, the target is 1.6 lakh crore. Then PM Gati Shakti project. Gati Shakti is a very important national master plan. Here we wanted to implement, here we wanted to connect all the ministries, departments all together in order to have a robust connectivity between ministry and department, so that multimodal connectivity in our country should be happen for, because we wanted to enhance the multimodal connectivity and logistical efficiency in our country. And is if there is any kind of, if there is any kind of critical gaps are there, that we have to fulfill. So under physical infrastructure, lot of work has happened. So under physical infrastructure, please remember national infrastructure pipeline, national monetization pipeline, and Gati Shakti. Okay, then comes our logistics sector. Logistics sector is also a very important sector, because we need the supply of logistics from road, railways, airways, waterways, and various other things are there. So national logistic policy was there. We wanted to enable it to be make it technologically enabled, properly cost effective, resilient, and properly in a very robust ecosystem we wanted to create for the faster accelerated growth and inclusive development. Okay, so there is a very fast increase in the national highway. If you know that national highway, average national highway construction was around 40 kilometers per day. Average national highway construction, road construction that is going in our country is around 40 kilometer per day. That is a very good growth that is going on. National highway road construction, so around road construction 10,457 kilometers has happened. Then for financial year 2022, it was 6,061 in financial year 11, and then for 10,457 kilometers in financial 2022. So there is a sudden, we can say that there is around 80% increase in the construction activities. And even the budget expenditure has also been increased. Like earlier it was in financial year 2022 is a 1.4 lakh crore, then it has been increased to 2.4 lakh crore. Directly 1 lakh crore has been increased for the expansion, capital expenditure under the logistics sector. And we all know that Kisan Rail, 2,359 Kisan Rail transported around 7.91 lakh ton of perishable goods. Okay, so especially the Kisan train, Kisan Rail, around 2,359 Kisan Rail has been launched, and they have transport around 7.91 lakh tons of perishable goods. Okay, then comes the sixth important thing is regarding the monetary management. We know that from the April, the inflation is going out of control. It has moved above 6%. So RBI has started tightening the monetary policy from April 2020. And since then, RBI has raised the repo rate by 225 basis point. 225 basis point. Okay. So, and the NPS, gross NPA of the scheduled commercial bank has fallen to a 7-year low. Now it is 5% only. Non-performing asset has been fallen to 7-year low. That means right now most of the projects are working, or either the recovery has been done. Okay, so 5% is a good ratio if we can say that. And capital to risk weighted ratio was also is healthy at 16.0%. Then comes the seventh sector, very very important sector, is health sector. Under the health sector, government is spending lot, and because of the COVID-19 pandemic, there was a huge investment, huge budget outlay that has come in for the health sector for budget 2020, then 2021, then 2022 and 23 this year also, right? So the budget expenditure has touched around 2.1% of the GDP of financial year 23 budget estimate. Okay, now, various steps have been taken by the government. We know that government is checking like out of the pocket expenditure has fallen down because government is running a very very important scheme, Ayushman Bharat. Okay, Jan Arogya Yojana. Okay, Jan Arogya Yojana, in which rupees 5 lakh has been given to every family for the tertiary and secondary care, right? So there is a very good decrease in the out of the pocket expenditure of the people. Okay, then IMR, infant mortality rate, and under 5 mortality rate and neonatal mortality rate have been declining, so shown a steady declining. And around 220 crore COVID vaccine doses have been administered till 6th of January. So this is a very very huge number. Please remember that. Okay, and around 22 crore beneficiary under the Ayushman Bharat scheme has been identified and verified, and 1.54 lakh health and wellness center are being operational. Okay, health and wellness center are for the primary care, for the primary care. Okay, and if you are not being treated in the primary care, or if anything happens with you in the primary care, that means if your case is getting deteriorated, you can take the you can go to the you can go to secondary and tertiary care, where Ayushman Bharat scheme 5 lakh insurance you are getting. Okay, then education, in which very important improvement has happened in the gross enrollment ratio. Gross enrollment ratio of the school and gender parity has also been increased. As per the Acer report and iShare report, there is a good amount of gross enrollment ratio, especially in the girls. And gender parity has also been improved in the last years. And gross enrollment ratio in the 1 to 5th class for the girls and the boys have improved. Now, ninth one is related to agriculture. Under the agriculture sector, there is an increase in the investment by 9.3%. Okay, and MSP, we know that the government is providing a 1.5 times of the crop. Okay, so government has already mandated that around the crop fixed at 1.5 the types of Indian weighted average cost. Okay, government will providing the cost 1.5 times of the MSP under the MSP. Then institutional credit in agriculture in credit to the agriculture sector has increased, and now it is going to be around 18.6 lakh crore institutional credit from banks and various other institutions. Okay, then food grain production have saw a very sustained and increased stakehold, like 315.7 million tons of food grain has been produced in the year 21 and 2022. Okay, and we know that we are following a National Food Security Act, because during the COVID-19 time 2020, we have started with thus providing the free ration to the people. So around under the free food grain, 81.4 crore beneficiaries are getting benefited, and government has said that they will be getting for 1 year from January 1st 2023. They have again extended the scheme. Now the 10th and the last is regarding the climate change. Very, very important, climate change. We know that Glasgow, at Glasgow, COP26 Indian Prime Minister have pledged that Indian net zero will be attained by 2070. Okay, right? And India has achieved its target of 40% already. India has already achieved the target before 2030, ahead of 2030. Now India has kept another target that by 2030 we are going to achieve 50% of the non-fossil fuel energy. That means India has given their target of 40% by 2030, but India has already achieved 40% in 2022 only. Now India has set their own target of achieving 50% of the installed power generation by 2030. Okay, and India has already committed that by 2030 we will be reducing our emission intensity by 45%, what is there at 2005 level. Okay, and now we have given that 50% of the power we will be coming with the non-fossil fuel, and we are going to auction 4,000 crore or sovereign green bonds. Sovereign green bond is a bond in which the money that has been raised from the green bond will be utilized for the investment or for the work of the green places, like if you wanted to invest in the solar energy, wind energy, or anything which is of the environmental friendly. Okay, and then we know that green hydrogen mission is being launched. Okay, and we this mission is being launched especially to make India energy independent by 2047. Okay, so we have a plan by 2030 we wanted to produce 5 million tons of green hydrogen by 2030. Okay, 5 million tons of green hydrogen by 2030, and it is a very important green gas which will be utilizing for the energy generation, because we wanted to find alternatives. Okay, if we are going to find alternative, then we are going to remove the fossil fuels, right? So green hydrogen mission is a very important mission, and you can expect the question regarding that. So now if anybody has any query, they can ask me. Anybody has any query, please ask me. Anybody has any query, anything you wanted to ask? And the next section, the next session, I think maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow, we will be discussing the budget. Okay, that budget session will be going to be a little bit longer session. Okay, so thank you so much for joining the session, and please share this video with your friends so that they also get benefited by these videos. And I hope you are liking the session. अब like भी कर दो, please session को like कर दो, share भी किया करो, और कुछ अच्छा भी लगे तो हमारे लिए कुछ comment भी किया करो. We also feel motivated. ठीक है, so please make sure that you also support us, and make sure that please spread the word with all of the people, and please uh, make sure that you like the session and share this with your friends. Tomorrow again, I will be meeting at 9 a.m. in the morning with the PIB session, right? So thank you so much for joining the session. Bye bye. Take care. Good night. And I will be seeing you tomorrow at 9.